Hi, everybody. Thought I would do a quick video today, or at least I'm going to try to make it quick, about chemo and my experience with it. One thing I will say that I try to say in all of my videos is I am not a doctor. Mm-mm, not even close. But I am going to share my experience, okay? Um, the internet is a great source for some of your information. Okay, it is not your primary source. You should always discuss things with your doctor and talk to your doctor about these things. The internet is a great place to get questions to talk to your doctor about. Okay, it is not your main source. Please don't just listen to the internet. Okay. Um. All right, so I'm gonna try to stay on topic. My ADHD probably will come into play, and I won't get off topic, but it is what it is. And the appearance, we all know I've lost the will to really care what I look like. It is what it is. All right, so with chemo, it is a very scary experience when you get told that you're going to have to do that. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, what is this going to be like? Is it going to hurt?" That was my main thing is how painful is this going to be? Am I going to be sick all the time? Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose all my hair. My daughter's going to see me sick. Now, there are many different types of chemo for different types of cancer, and everyone reacts differently. It is not always what it looks like in the movie. In the movies or TV shows. Now, when I went to my first chemo experience, that's what I kind of thought I was gonna see, is like what you see in movies on TV. It's not like that at all. It almost makes you, well, at least for me, it made me feel better when I would go into chemo and I would see other people around, because when you're in there, cancer isn't this like dirty word. It's normal. Okay, to everybody that's in there. All right, it is not by any means fun and games or a great experience to see, but you feel a sense of normalcy when you're in there, or at least I did. Now, some of the side effects that you can experience, one is anemia, and that's going to be the low iron in your blood, and a lot of other issues will come with anemia. I would list them all, but I don't know them all. Okay. Bruising is another thing, and that kind of falls in line with anemia as well. You'll be bruising easily. Your tissues kind of get beaten up. The way that chemo works is it's killing the cancer cells, but it is also messing with living cells in your tissue as well. So, it will also damage your immune system. You're going to get sick a lot easier than other people. Before the whole virus and thing came around, I was already having to kind of quarantine and wear masks in order to keep myself from getting sick, and I wasn't really allowed to go anywhere and do a lot of things, because I couldn't fight off stuff like other people. Okay, you can get very, very sick very easy. Um, Fatigue is a number one, big one. Okay, you're going to be tired. It runs you down. Okay. But there are things that you can do to kind of fight with that, and it'll help you along the way. Granted, you're still going to feel it, but you can do some things that make it not as bad. And I'll get into that a little later as well. Mouth sores. Okay. Not everybody will experience that, but a lot of people will. I did. You'll get sores kind of in your mouth and in your throat and stuff. And that's because, like I said before, the new cells that are coming in aren't getting that chance to do what they used to be able to do. You could like bite the inside of your cheek before and that would heal, right? Because those cells regenerate really quick and it heals fast. Not with chemo. A lot of your doctors will prescribe a medicated mouthwash or rinse that you can use that will help with those sores. It has like a numbing agent in it and antifungal, whatever the heck you call it, that can help. It's great. There's also an at-home little mix that you can make as well that my stepmom kind of showed me. I will try to post that recipe in the description or in the comments, so that way that you kind of have it if you would like it. Forgetfulness is another one. Chemo brain, chemo fog, that stuff is real. I am battling it now. I actually just had an appointment with my doctor over it. So I have actually lost a few memories. They're coming back. Everything's kind of coming back slowly, but I am battling with that. He did let me know that it could take up to a year or two for everything to come back to me completely. So if you're struggling with that, don't worry. It'll work its way back, mostly. That, and I have problems to where I know what a word is in my head and I can hear it and I know how to say it, but I can't get it out of my mouth. Or a lot of stuff is jumbled and I can't make a statement or ask a question properly without stepping all over my words. That I think has a little bit to do with my ADHD too. But it is real. Okay. Um, I don't script a lot of the stuff that I do on here. I'm not a professional. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do any of that stuff yet. I'll get better, maybe. Um, but I did write down like keywords so I can remember kind of where I'm at. My kid's yelling at me. Oh, mommy loves that Christmas song. Sorry. So I am a parent. I do have a lot of animals. So you might hear the dogs going crazy or my kid yelling at me. Just bear with me. I do have ADHD. I get distracted a lot, come off topic like I am right now. And I do have some tics and weird things that I do with my face and my body. So just bear with me. So where will we at? The forgetfulness. Yes, another one is nausea. Okay, it is nausea. Oh my gosh. Some people don't experience that. Some people do. I called it puke purgatory because I constantly felt like I was going to throw up and sometimes I just wouldn't. And it just seemed like if I could just get it over with and vomit, I would feel better instead of just constantly feeling like I was going to throw up all the time. Now, they will prescribe, sometimes they will prescribe you anti-nausea meds. Don't think that you were too big for your britches for them. Get them. Take them. They help. He gave me Compazine. I believe that's the generic form of whatever it was. I can't exactly remember. But I also used it throughout radiation and stuff too. It definitely helps. But you have to take it before the vomiting starts. If you take it afterwards, you're just kind of screwed. And then before chemo, a lot of times they'll give you these things called pre-meds, and it's a little mixed bag of stuff that they'll put together for you that will have anti-nausea, allergy stuff to keep you from having an allergic reaction to some of the things, and steroids. I hate steroids. I hated taking them. I didn't like it. They made me puff out and very bad. And they also made me feel like jittery without giving me the energy with it. If some of you follow my Fight Like Shell thing on Facebook, you'll notice in my videos and pictures that my shape changes. My face, neck, and everything, I start to swell and I get very, very puffy. And then as I'm coming off of all the steroids and everything, it slims, everything kind of like slims back down. Yeah. So that's another thing. But the steroids are supposed to kind of help with your body, I guess, accepting the chemo and things like that, and the drug actually working and giving you energy and whatnot like that. Whatever. They'll explain it to you better than when I can. So yeah, that's one thing, is definitely the nausea. Now, along with the mouth sores, you'll also sometimes get skin sores. Or if you get like a slight cut or things like that, granted, it's not going to heal as fast as what it did before. I got what my buddies in the chemo world called chemo rash on my back, really bad. And it looked really gross. If I have a picture of it still, I'll post it. It almost looked like I was hitting puberty for the first time with acne, but it itched really, really bad. Looked disgusting. And I'm one of those people that if I have something I'm not supposed to pick at or touch, I'm going to pick at it and touch it. I think a lot of people are like that, so I couldn't really stop messing with it. But there are creams and whatnot that you can use that kind of help with that. Now, if you do have like an out of control rash, especially around your port, I did get one. You need to talk to your doctor and explain that. You should always explain any of your symptoms to your doctor because they most likely have a way to help you through it. Okay. But yeah, so skin sores, that's definitely one. Another thing for men and women, especially depending on where your cancer is, infertility. If you're not worried about that, then hey, don't worry about that. But if you are, you need to discuss this stuff with your doctor before. Okay, if you are about to start chemo, if you haven't started chemo yet, or even if you already have, make sure that you make like a nice list of questions that you can ask your doctor so that you can get as much information as you can. Especially when it comes for the infertility stuff. You know, we were battling that. I was going to have a hysterectomy. Had one, actually. But And with the where my cancer was and the radiation, it was all going into like my pelvic region, hip region. So all of that stuff was being obliterated. So you kind of got to figure out what you're going to do about that. If that is a concern for you, it might not be, it might. Another crazy side effect is neuropathy and cold sensitivity. Now, it drove me nuts, and now I can say I have 80 to 90% of all my feeling back in my hands and my feet. But I did lose that. It was numb. It was weird. But it wasn't numb enough for the cold sensitivity not to bother me. So you can, with the numbing, you can feel a slight tingling in your appendages and whatnot, and kind of like the nerves just aren't working, or it feels like it's kind of like a sleep, like when your foot falls asleep or something like that. Strangest feeling in the world, and that can stay. Sometimes people do not get that feeling back, sometimes you do. And just from the research and whatnot that I did, and from asking my doctor, from what they told me, is after you stop your chemo and stuff, 6 months later, if that numbing sensation is still there, most likely it will stay like that. But mine did slowly come back, and it did take a little while for that to happen. I do have slight numbness still in certain spots, but it is nowhere near what it was before. So that's awesome. And the way I realized it was I was sitting, ADHD kicking in, side story, sitting in my daughter's room with my husband, and we were playing with her toys with her, and I was like, oh my gosh, this stuffed animal feels so soft. And my husband went, what did you just say? And I was like, it feels soft. He was like, it feels soft. And then it clicked in. I was like, holy crap, I can feel this. It feels soft. I can feel it, babe. I can feel it. And I was like, it was kind of a big moment. Whatever, I know. We get surprised by small stuff. But hey, the cold sensitivity, it is real. And it sucks. So with the way that they warned me about it, it scared me, because I was doing chemo, and I started at the beginning of December. It's already cold, especially here in Ohio. Like when you go outside and you breathe in the cold air, the cold sensitivity sometimes can be so strong that it feels like you can't breathe, almost like your lungs feel like they can't suck anything in, and it hurts very bad, very, very, very bad. Some people don't experience this, so please don't panic. But one thing I would recommend with the cold sensitivity is getting a pair of gloves on your kitchen counter and in your fridge. So if you have to get something out of the fridge or out of your freezer, you have that to put on, because it hurts to touch cold stuff. It's a weird thing. Not only that, but like regulating your temperature. I'm still kind of battling it now between hot flashes, not being able to regulate temperature as well. It's been a crazy wild ride. So right now I'm freezing. Okay, that's why I got my sweater on. I'm sitting here and I'm like shivering. My daughter's sweating. In a minute I'll have a hot flash. I'll be hot and I'll take this off, and then I'm gonna get cold again. It's great. It is really, really great. So if you are going to be doing chemo, I set drinks out of the fridge. I don't put them in there, and I let them get to room temperature. And your chemo place, if they offer things like drinks and snacks and whatnot, they will have ones that are room temp as well that they can help you with. Now, I would get my chemo on a Monday. I would take my pump home. I did chemo for 46 hours, went back, and then I had a week break. Now, at the end of that week break, normally around by like the day before my chemo would start again, the cold sensitivity would wear away enough to where I could have something a little cold and it wasn't too painful. You might be able to do that as well. But like I said before, make sure you discuss this stuff with your doctors so you can get all that information. And your chemo nurses will help you through a lot of it, and they can answer a lot of your questions as well. Man, they are extremely knowledgeable and helpful, okay? Use your sources that you have, all right? Another thing is you develop a higher chance for another cancer sometimes. It definitely sucks, okay? You not only that, but you develop chances for other issues that could come along, especially if you were taking a drug called oxaliplatin, which is one that I had, okay? And it can kind of mess with your renal function some. A lot of times the pamphlet that they give you in the beginning, it will discuss a lot of this stuff, but you need to make sure that you're asking the questions. And they will do tests before each chemo to make sure that your body is healthy enough for each go-round for you to have it. There was a couple times where my potassium and whatnot got so low that they was like, girl, you on the line. I don't know if we're going to do it today. Make sure you're drinking your water. Plenty of water. Okay, plenty of water. I cannot stress this enough. A great thing that you can do is there are Propel waters that have potassium in them, and there are other things that you can drink as well that will have potassium in them. You know, eat your bananas. My husband would yell at me. Having potassium ran through an IV is not fun. Okay, it hurts, especially if they forget to release the saline back along with it, which one of my nurses did, and it felt awesome. Like fire in your veins. She felt really bad about it. I get it. It happens. It was a mistake, but holy crap. I wanted to rip the IV out of my arm and like wrap it around her head. Anyhow, everyone is different though. So these side effects can affect other people different, and they will experience different ones than even I did. Another one is, of course, the hair loss. Okay. I did not lose all of my hair, thankfully. Some people will. Some people won't lose any at all. Some people won't experience any nausea whatsoever, and they're okay. And that's awesome. Some people will lose all of their hair completely. One thing that is very cool about it though, when it comes back in, sometimes it can be a different color or texture, which is wild. I didn't lose all of mine, but I lost a lot. I have a lot of hair. I've always been a thick-headed. Well, a lot of it's true, but I've always had a lot of thick hair. I did lose a lot. I had a big patch back here where it just went away, and then my hairline went back a lot. It's coming back in very nicely, but where it is coming back in, it is a different texture, and it's curly and it's weird. But I made sure that I researched vitamins and things that I could take that would help with some of this. Make sure your doctor's cool with it. There are certain things you can't take with certain chemos. Remember that, okay? But I take biotin. I take 10,000 milligrams of biotin a day, and I did it throughout my entire chemo to kind of help with that. My nails broke apart. They were crumbling. Hair, every time I would brush it, I mean, globs and globs and globs more than usual were coming out. Or I would sit there and do this, and it would come off. It was great. If your hair does come off, when we were going through this, I was telling my husband, and at the time I had hair past my butt. And I'm like, oh my God, it's all going to fall out. I'm going to look so horrible, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why vanity was a thing then, but it was. And he told me, you know, he's a smart aleck. He said, hey, well, look at it this way. If your hair falls out, you can wear a new wig every day and be a new person. You know, you'll be a new broad every day. And I laughed about it. And he said it can match your personalities. He's a funny guy. Okay. Discuss, like I said before, all your side effects and whatnot with your doctors as well. My little notes. One thing that I will tell you is that get yourself a really good support system, and in your support system, make sure that you have friends and family that will hold you accountable for things. Okay. Don't just get you somebody that's going to pity you and baby you. Okay. No. You do not need that. All right. As rough as you feel, I understand. It sucks. You don't want to do anything. Your energy's drained, and sometimes you just can't freaking move. But the best thing that you can do during chemo is stay active. I know it sucks, but you got to do something. If the best thing that you can do that day is just one lap through your house, or even getting up off that couch or bed to go to the bathroom, do it. Try to add a step or two on, okay? You got to try to stay as active as you can. It's the only way that you're going to feel better. As much as it sucks in that moment, I promise in the end you will feel better. And have friends that hold you accountable. Do not have somebody that's going to let you stay in your room with your lights off and wallow in misery and depression, because it will just make it worse, okay? I had a friend that kicked me out of bed, flipped all my lights on, and told me, I don't care if you feel bad, get out. We got stuff to do. And I'm glad that she did, because it got me through it. Some people do not have a support system, and I am so sorry for you if you do not have that. I couldn't imagine doing this by myself. There are some wonderful communities that you can be a part of that are online. Okay, reach out to them. They helped me through a lot of questions and things that I had, and even those times where when you just don't want to bring up stuff to friends or family, like diarrhea. That is a real thing during chemo. It's gonna happen. If you don't want to discuss that with them, these people in these communities, half the time you're never going to meet them. So it is what it is. They're not judging you. Ask them those questions. Hold on, my kid's yelling at me about the dog. But those communities are great ways to talk to people that are going through what you're going through. You always feel good when you know that you're not alone in those situations, you know? Another thing that I will tell you is get yourself like a little chemo bag, is what I call it. A little prep bag that you'll take with you to chemo. Yeah, give me just a moment. And I overpacked. I overpack for everything, you know, but I forget the important stuff that I need. But in your chemo bag, make sure you bring yourself like sources of entertainment. Okay, cards if you want to play solitaire. Granted, we can't have visitors right now with the virus, so you can't really play cards. Me and my husband, we used to do that. And no, he never took it easy on me. But bring yourselves cards, a book that you like to read. I brought my daughter's iPad so that I could watch Netflix. Or, you know, little things like that. Maybe like a robe that you love, a comfy sweater. A lot of places will provide snacks, pillows and blankets. If not, bring yourself a little throw blanket or something that you like, maybe comfort from home, or snacks that you might want. Some places might not be able to have snacks. My chemo place did have a lot of nuts and popcorn and things like that, which were great, but I couldn't have that at the time with the ostomy bag. Some people do eat popcorn and eat nuts while they have an ostomy. I could not because it turned it into a water spigot. I'm not going to explain any further. If you get it, then you know what I mean, and it's nasty. But I did bring myself little things to like eat and snack on, but I was lucky because there was like a little Starbucks in the hospital that was connected to my chemo place. So anybody that knows me knows that I love donuts. I love donuts so much. I am a sucker for donuts. So I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, babe, give me a donut. And he would like run down and get me one and I would just engorge on them. Weight loss is another thing that you could experience during chemo. I had already lost a lot of weight because of the cancer and things like that. So I think I'm one of the very few people that put on weight during chemo. The steroids obviously were part of that, but it was also because I'd stopped the crazy diet that I was on before. And me being angry, I decided I'm going to eat what I want and I'm going to drink pop and I'm going to do all this stuff. Don't do that. But hey, you do need to find a way to keep some weight on so you can stay healthy. Because you can drop sometimes to a very dangerous weight. Absolutely, ma'am. Yeah. So that was some of my experience and my side effects. Not everybody has the same. Some people have different. I'm losing my train of thought because of ADHD. Oh yeah, but the entertainment bag and stuff, you know. But I'm gonna get off here because if not, I'm gonna ramble. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you. Don't cough on each other. Don't cough in anyone's mouth. Don't let anybody cough in your mouth. My phone's yelling at me to hurry up on this video, so I'm going to get going. Thank you so much for listening to my story and joining me on this crazy journey. Bye, guys.